Oh my goodness. I am super excited to be here with my friend KP and also my friend Wesley Newman. Good morning, guys.
Good
Good
morning.
morning.
Good morning.
Awesome. So, you guys, obviously, this is a meticulous engagements interview, but today we're going to be doing it a little bit differently. KP is a new friend of mine, and he does exactly what I do. He loves to learn about other people's businesses, and then he loves to edit them and get them out to the world. And he loves to get them out to the world. I am super excited to be here. So, Wesley, you're not in the hot box just once. No, 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 friend. You are in the hot box twice. I'm going to go ahead and change my name. KP, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, friend?
Well, my name is Kamlesh Kumar Patel. I go by KP. Everybody calls me KP. My background story is I've always been in operations in businesses, trying to make them more efficient. So now I'm getting into the process of consulting too, and in a wide variety of different businesses. And I'm glad to meet both of you because you guys got some great missions going on, and I know this should be a great conversation today.
I couldn't agree with you more. This is going to be super, super fun. Wesley, are you ready, friend? Like, are you ready for this?
Well, I put on the heated pad on my chair so I can be in the hot seat for both of you guys. For those of you that are coming in and don't know who I am, my name is Wesley, and I am the owner and main entertainer at Just for Laughs Incorporated, a business that has been out and about providing family-friendly, developmentally appropriate, and universally accessible entertainment for children of all ages since 1993. Yes, that makes 30 years of clowning around. And I was
Wow.
expecting you guys to go into like your official like intro, like, "Hi, this is Amber with Meticulous Engagements." Da 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 da. And
I was
yeah,
there. I got
I
really
love you doing
sidetracked.
your
I
intro.
noticed that my name was wrong, and then the children have come out of their toy room, and so yes. So I'm getting there. Hold on.
Okay, so as what I've been doing with you, I'm just pointing out little things to help you grow and make yourself better, which we'll get into that later, I'm sure. But I just had to call you out on it.
Sounds
Exactly.
good.
No, and I love that because that totally segues into what we're going to be talking about and exactly what you do. So I'm super excited. Okay. So I am Amber McCarty with Meticulous Engagements. Where is my business to know your business so I can help share it with the world? And I go ahead and I do the long content and I put it onto all my different platforms. I think there's 6 total. And then I go ahead and I love to edit to go ahead and pull out. Yeah. I love to edit to pull out. Oh, okay. Okay, in just 1 second.
And this is what's great about being an
So
at-home entrepreneur because you can spend time with your family and do your job, and it is great. But a little bit of an interruption. You can edit all that
just a
out.
little bit. And that's exactly what I was saying, friend. I love editing out to pull out the golden nuggets to help you shine in your line of business. So absolutely. So, you might hear the little angels running around inside the background or singing to me, but we will just carry on and, we'll edit it out if we have to. So fantastic. KP, did you do your formal introduction? No.
No, I really didn't. Yeah. My formal introduction would be um, basically I'm your side hustle coach, KP. Uh, Basically, being a side hustle, I mean, I've always had a side hustle from when I was young. So I've been branded as a side hustle coach. And basically for the KP, I mean, standard operating procedures is my big specialty. And KP in the military is basically the guy who puts the foot down and makes sure everything runs properly. So that's who I am. And I've also started my own podcast too. So this is all going to connect together to bring people to a bigger variety of just to connect with other business owners who are helping to grow other businesses. So B2B right now. And from there, hopefully we start connecting and reducing the cost of operations, making more efficient to everybody. I know Wesley told me that he doesn't have a website yet, but he will have one soon here. So we'll get it going. And
I don't have a website for the coaching part of it. I do have a
Right.
website for my business. So
Correct.
you
So
can't be in business today without some sort of online representation. When I first got started, you had to have a Yellow Pages ad. Now you got to have a Facebook page, you got to have a website, digital cards, all kinds of other things that businesses need to have just to survive.
Wesley, you said that you were in 30 years of business. Can we just like pause and congratulate the heck out of that?
I,
I
30
did
years.
my very first solo performance as an entertainer was on October 28th, 1993. I'd been clowning with a group for a couple months before that, and that was my first solo performance when I realized this is what I want to do, and therefore that's when I started the company.
nice.
So it's my clown's birthday. It is the birthday of my business. It's when I decided that I wanted to make people happy for the rest of my life.
Share what sparked you to go ahead and to be clowning around for 30 years? Do you have like a story that was like, aha, this is it?
Um, I was part of a clown club in Monticello, Minnesota. Here Come the Clowns Clown Club, and my very, very first experience going out in the makeup, we went to the local hospital. There was a young child in bed, and I, like I was told, knock on the side of the door on the door frame and ask permission to come in. And when the child rolled his head towards me, you could see he was just bored and out of his mind with boredom. Um, his eyes just lit up, and that wow moment has been my addiction for 30 years. When you see that magic in a child's eye that says, whoa, you don't see it as much anymore with all the new digital stuff or whatever, but back then it was very eye-opening. It was heartwarming. It was enough to make me go to a lady that my mom was an at-home seamstress, and I went to her boss, who was a retired Ringling Brothers clown, and I said, Trish, Priscilla Manuel owns the costume shop and Costumes by Mooseburger, or Mooseburger Originals. I said, make me a clown, and she gave me my first face. I registered that with the Clowns America International. Then joined World Clown Association. It's been a whirlwind road since that time, but every time I get like bummed out or bogged down, or business, there's just 1,000 things screaming in your head at any one time. I go back to that very first experience, and I see that young child, young boy, just whoa, the big eyes, the wild, the magic. And every spring when we're getting ready for our county fairs or getting ready for our really, really busy season, I'm like, it's going to be hot, it's going to be muggy, it's going to be horrible. And then I remember that look when I make a balloon animal or I do a magic trick, and the children in the audience are like, whoa, that's why I do what I do. And it doesn't matter what I'm actually doing. If it's, when I'm doing my clown magic birthday party, getting the kids wild up, doing Santa Claus and seeing the little children's like, wow, he's real. I run a Dungeons and Dragons game where I've pulled some magic tricks into the game and the visual aids where the people in my game are like, what just happened? That wow moment, that aha moment. That's what I like to do all the time. That's why I do what I do.
Love it.
For those of you out there watching this that don't know what D&D is, it's a role play interactive tabletop game, Dungeons and Dragons. So I'm finding more and more people know what that is, but there are still quite a few out there that don't. So I'm a storyteller at heart, and then when you run a D&D game, you're telling a story.
I'm not a big gamer, but I do know what Dungeons and Dragons is. And just this year, there was a haunted house here that I was a part of that I was scaring kids in, and I loved it. I mean, I volunteered, and I mean, it was fun and something. I mean, I want to do again. It's something in my heart. I had fun. So I like volunteering, and so right now myself, I'm volunteering in a couple different places just to get my name out, to spread out what I'm doing. So
Volunteering is really good, and that's one of the reasons why I joined the Masonic Lodge and the Shriners organization, doing the Children's Hospital. It also got me interested in, I worked at the Shrine Circus. I did a couple of years with the Shriners. So yeah, volunteer work. If you aren't volunteering, get out and do something for your community. One of the problems we're having right now is you don't know who your neighbors are. You live in an apartment, you got what, 30, 40 families around you, and you have no idea who is what or where or anything. You don't know who your neighbors are. I personally went and introduced myself to the neighbor next door. I bought a house in January, and I'm like, I got to know who my neighbors are because I don't want to sit here and, be worried about my home when I don't know who's around me. Know your community and volunteer in your community. Do something good, Easter egg hunt or Christmas party, or just open your home and Thanksgiving and say, hey, you want to come over and, share some cold turkey?
Or giving out turkeys like I am right now at church. So
I get cold a turkey enough, so I'm good.
I love that. Okay, so then Wesley, you went ahead and that sounded a little old school, if you don't mind me. So with
Dear,
that, like
let's stop right there. I am old. I don't look it, I don't act it, but I'm in the last year before 50. So yes, I started clowning right out of high school. I was 18 when I started. I'm 49 right now. It's been a road and a half. So yeah, I'm old. Go for it.
You're still young. You're still in your prime, I say. I mean, you're not at 100 yet. You're halfway there, but
I wish I made as much money as Prime makes. So Amber, where were you going with the old comment?
So with you being older and before technology really, sparked off and everything, and, meticulous engagements being out there as far as it is, what did you do back in the day to go ahead and get your business out there, friend? And how did you do that and like become successful? And then how can you help other businesses with that? So there's like a triple layer question in there.
Well, yeah, there's a lot going on in that. The first thing I did was I hired an artist to spray paint a logo on the side of a brontosaurus as it went down the street. But all kidding aside, when you started a business, you had to put a name, your ad in a newspaper saying, I'm starting a business and this is what it is. And then you had to take that article, clip it out, and send it into the government to prove that you had an official business. You had to get business cards and you had to have your name in the phone book, because back then, if you wanted something, you grabbed this big dusty tome off your shelf, flopped it down, popped it open, and you went alphabetical. What am I looking for? So I had to have mine under birthday party entertainers. I had to have it under clowns. I had to have it under balloon artists, and I had to have it under magicians. So I had 4 different registers in the yellow pages. I had to go get business cards done. And yeah, I was just starting. So it's a plain yellow card with black print on it. It was the cheapest I could get. And I would tack them up at the laundromats, at the gas stations, hand them out to anybody that asked what I do for a living. Everybody got a card, get a card, get a card, pick a card, any card. So it was just get out there. I put ads in newspapers. I got a quarter page ad in the local hometown newspaper. Building off that, I put, hey, have you had a clown at your birthday party postcard up on all the billboards or whatever. I took out a colored ad in the yellow pages so that people would see me and say, hey, check out the ad, go look for me here. There was a lot of different things that I've tried over the years. I've done and traded a show to a radio station so they would put my ad on the radio. Unfortunately, depending on your business, different advertisements work for different things. Myself personally, I'm a children's entertainer. The only advertising that I have found that has worked is, hey, we saw you here. It's word of mouth and it's visual ads. So we try to do at least 3 community outreach type events each year. We go out, we donate our time or trade our time to these organizations to be able to do, we do our balloons, we do our magic show, we can do Santa Claus, we can do the Easter Bunny, we can do all kinds of these different things. But the organizations email us on when their event is and what they're looking for. And then me and the 3 entertainers currently that we have on staff go through and we pick the 3 favorites that we'll do this year. Now, those organizations we will not do next year. We will pick 3 new events next year. So it kind of broadens everything out. It's kind of our community outreach, but it's also our advertising budget.
Nice.
And unfortunately, I am down to 3 entertainers, myself, my ex-wife, and a good friend of mine that are still working full time. At the high point, right before COVID, we had 8 entertainers on call. So I'm hoping someday I get back up there, but right now it's just get back to basics and redo the foundations of the company to rebuild from there, which is another reason why I want to get into mentoring, because I have downtime. I want to be able to put money back into the business, but with the shows down and the entertainers down, I need to find another way to be able to, bring some revenue in. And I've got the experience, I've got the knowledge, I've got a degree in sales and marketing. I want to be able to use that. And if I can help somebody else out in the process for a couple of bucks here or there, then that's what I want to do. Would you like to know about my business or my personality? Or, I mean, you and I have talked a little bit on the phone, but this is our first like face-to-face digital type meeting.
Right, it is. One thing I would love to know, what is the biggest failure you had in your business and what you do to achieve
I,
the next step?
I have never failed.
Okay. I mean,
I have had multiple learning experiences on how not to do things, but it is not a failure. If you look at it as a failure, that's when you give up. If you don't give up, it's not a failure, it's a learning moment. There has been, like I said, many times where I've dumped hundreds and thousands of dollars into various advertising things that I've gotten zero response on. I've paid $1,200 for a website that got no traffic whatsoever. I have put a lot of money into the company when I first got started, and this is a trade problem, but when you go to a convention and you see all these magic tricks or all these clown stuff, it's like, I gotta have it, I gotta have it, it's like a kid at Christmas. I want it, I want it, I want it, I want it. I've got literally shelves of product, of magic, of stuff that I never use because it either doesn't fit my character, doesn't fit my personality, or it's just something that I can't work into my current show. I've got, I would say, a third to less, a quarter of what I have, I actually use on a regular basis. So I've got a lot of money tied into stuff that I can't really turn around and sell because nobody out there really wants a used rubber chicken.
true there, true there. Uh, with marketing, like you say, I mean, there's a lot of avenues with marketing. It just depends where you're going with it and what field you're in. I mean, not every marketing aspect is just one way. You got to
When
look
it
at the
comes to
platform with.
marketing, when it comes to
Go on.
marketing, when it comes to advertising, I will tell anybody that I talk to the KISS principle. Keep it simple, silly. You want people to remember you, but you don't want to go over extravagant. I've gotten more response from a vinyl sticker on the side of my van than I do with any of the radio show promotions or the Google ads or even the paid Facebook ads. I don't get any response out of that. I get people that see my van and they'll come up to me and say, "What is that?" And I give them a business card. They asked for it, they got a business card. Print ad seems to be, like I do a business card, but then I blew it up to a postcard size. So those are the ones that I stick at like the gas stations and the laundromats and that kind of stuff. And if people ask for my business card when I'm wearing my clown costume, I give them this giant business card. Card is still important. I've tried the link. I've tried the what's the other one? The dot card. They're a digital card. It's a heavy plastic or metal card that you can get that you run the RFID chip on their phone or whatever, and it brings them to the website. But honestly, they have your contact information, but they don't have the picture. They don't have that card. They don't have that reminder. It's on their phone. Some people that works great. I am borderline ADHD. If it's not in front of my face, it doesn't exist. I will tell you right now, I've got somewhere around 100 to 125 Google pages saved on my phone that I plan on going back to later to take a look at. But it's not the same as having that business card. And I'm a big advocate of network marketing or networking, to going to, BNI, Meticulous Engagements, or any of the Chamber of Commerce, to go to these meetings with a pocket full of cards But don't just wait for somebody to come up to you. Walk up to somebody and ask them, hey, that's a nice shirt, or hey, I love your earrings, or is that a dolphin on your necklace? Ask them something about them. You open the conversation, and then you explain what you do, who you are, and you make sure that you listen to them. If you listen to them, they're going to have a lot bigger response to you than you just going in and saying, hey, my name is Wes. I'm a clown. You should hire me. Here's my card. See you later. Bye. And you're out the door. Nobody's going to care. They may remember you, not in a good light, but they'll remember you. What's your questions, Amber? I know you have a whole
No,
list.
so
You and I have
yeah.
gone back and forth a number of times. I know I've interviewed you with you once before at one of the events that I did, and it was a great time. But you usually have a lot more questions, and you've been quiet.
Trying
Yeah,
not
it's
to be. My
definitely her
internet's just being
service.
super. Hmm.
Okay, so throw something at me. Well, we've still got you here.
Okay. Okay, you have helped me with my words. For instance, you have helped me like when I come up with like my questionnaire. Remember when I got to interview that 23-year-old multimillionaire? We worked for about a half an hour to 45 minutes together to reword all of my stuff. That was gold. Do you see yourself being able to help like more businesses the way that you've helped me? And how does that look for you? Like, what are you looking for out of a client?
That is a very loaded question. I'm not exactly sure how I want to follow through with that. Yes, I remember your interview with the multimillionaire. Yes, I remember the cringe that I saw when I saw your questions, and I I'm not a grammar Nazi, but when I get sent something, I do proofread it, and I proofread it with an open mind, and then I go back and I proofread it as if I were hearing the words. So yeah, there was a little wording upgrades, or like, hey, you're asking this, but it sounds like you've asked this 3 different times, so let's reword one of these questions to make it, better if you're interested. When I work with a client or when I work with a business partner, I tell them my opinion, and this is what I would do. Take it or leave it. If you're asking for my advice, I'll give you my advice. But if you're asking me for my advice and you don't heed it and then you complain about why it didn't work, I only have so much patience and time for people that don't care. If you care about your business and you want a friend that you can run some ideas by and ask questions to, I'm here. I'm always available by phone because of everything I'm doing. I'm always moving. I'm always mobile, but I'm always answering my phone. I do answer my emails, but usually that's only like a once a day thing. Um, like I said earlier, I don't have a website for the coaching. I hate the word coaching on this because I'm not telling you how to do it. I want to be your sounding board, your friend that you can run ideas by. Something that is, hey, I got this great idea. What do you think? I want to start a wedding business where I go in and I host your wedding, and I'm like, have you thought about your employees, and have you thought about the medical, and have you thought about payroll? And then this person's like, I didn't think of any of that. Well, maybe you should before you jump in with both feet tied to a rock. So I see the grin on your face, so you know where I'm talking about.
Yep.
But it's just sometimes you need an outside look to say, have you thought of everything? Um, I did not have that when I went into business. Um, I went into it with a couple of really close friends that wanted to support me, so they said, yes, do it. And then I fell on my face. Thankfully, I had a big rubber nose to stop brokenness, but it was difficult to run a business when you had no business people in the family. I come from a very blue collar background. Both of my parents were like, when are you going to get a real job? And I'm like, I have a real job. I'm working harder than anybody else. I work to find work, to do work, to get paid for one of those things. Entrepreneurs, anybody watching this that owns their own business or runs their own business, they know how difficult it is. You work 140 hours a week and get paid for 20 of it. You're constantly working, but you're not doing it for the money. You're doing it for the freedom, for the relaxation, for the fact that you can stay home with your kids and help raise your children and be in their life instead of throwing them into a daycare in the school and letting the system raise them. And then, they get to be teenagers and like, I hate your guts because you won't let me do whatever I want to do. No, I want to be able to be with my kids. My kids are growing up now. I want to be with my grandkids. Unfortunately, I'm in a transitional spot in my businesses where I'm gone Monday through Friday and I'm home on the weekends for a very short time and then I'm going again. But I'm 50 years old. I'm still young enough that I can do whatever I want, run as hard as I want, do whatever I want and not worry about it. Where, I've got a friend she's 40 and just had a baby. I wouldn't want to do that, but she is an at-home entrepreneur, so she has the time to be with her kids. And I know that was one of your questions, but I forgot where we were at.
Oh, that's okay. I really do appreciate all of your comments in here, friend. If you have a question, oh, I froze.
No, you didn't freeze.
Really do appreciate.
You're bouncing.
Oh, okay. Well, I was going to say, Ronald, thank you so much for all of your questions and all of your comments. I'm going to be watching it here on my cell phone, so that way I don't freeze again, because I think that's what's causing issues. Okay, so it sounds like to me that you enjoy, well, obviously you enjoy helping others then who don't come from a long line of entrepreneurs and they're just getting started, and maybe they also see too many options. I know that when you and I started working together, I had lots of ideas and lots of options. And I think that those are your ideal clients. I think those are the ones where you're like, okay, this is how I can help you. We can stop the squirrel train and we can go ahead and zero in on really what you want to do and go ahead and throw ideas at me. But I'm going to point out everything that you don't see in a very respectful way. Is that what I'm getting from you?
Very close. I'm going to add one more thing on that. Entrepreneurship is like initial finding a new date. You are looking at the business with rose-colored glasses. You're seeing all of the diamond people walking across stage. You're seeing all of you could make $1 billion an hour if you just do this. You're seeing all of the glitz and glam and glory, but you're not seeing the other stuff that goes along with it. I have been around the world on the different products where you can buy into, and the Amways, the Shackleys, the Tupperware, the Avon. I've been through a lot of them, and they work for the right people. But if you're going into it with rose-colored glasses and you're only seeing the glitz and glam, you don't look at the other things that a lot of people overlook. That's where I would come in as your friend. I'm like, that's great. I'm glad that you're really interested in this particular product and this service, but have you thought about what you need to do to make that work? I don't have a problem pointing out, hey, if you want to do this, then you need to look into these types of ads or this type of marketing, or, hey, if you really want to make a go at that, you need to be a complete, how do I want to word this? You have to be somebody that people aren't going to want to talk to for a very long time, because you're going to be making your money off of the shoulders of your friends, and you're not going to make money until you start dealing with strangers, because your friends are going to listen to you, but they're not going to buy from you. My friends will listen to me, but nobody's going to want to pay me for my advice because I'm a friend. I should do it for free. I do have bills to pay. I do have, mouths to feed. I do have a home to keep. So yes, I want to help out. And right now with any new clients, I'm asking for donations on, hey, if my service has been beneficial for you, hey, tip me $20 or tip me $50 at the end of the month or whatever, if it's worked for you. Amber, I know you and I have done back and forth with the barter system. I'd love to help you out. And in that process, I've gotten, a couple of extra ads from you. I work with clients that way. It's not that I don't want to make $1 million on doing this, but if you get it for free, it's free advice. If you invest something into it, it's an investment. And you treat investments a lot different than you treat freebies. If you get a free car, you're not going to treat it as well as if you paid every month for 5 years and that's your baby because you worked for it. If you work for it, it means something to you. If you're just handed it, it doesn't mean anything to you.
You're right. Wes, I'll be exactly honest with you. I mean, if someone actually pays you, they're going to be more attracted to what you're doing and actually listen and do it. But
That's it. They're
until,
going to have to listen and run the words and say, okay, I've invested in this golden nugget. Is it
Mhm,
going to pay me? Is it going to work? So they're going to try it. If I
right,
say, look, if you're going out and doing a cleaning service, you need to have your cleaning service name on your car. If I tell you that, yeah, that's great. But a sticker or a vinyl or a decal is anywhere from $300 to $10,000, depending on the wrap you put in your car. But if you go and clean this house in a Toyota Corolla, that's great. But if you show up in a Mary Maids or I'm trying to think of any other cleaning service, the logo on the car, you're going to get a lot more people calling you saying, hey, I saw that you were cleaning. What do you charge? What do you do? If I tell you that, you're going to say, hey, that's a great idea. And 10 minutes from now, when you're cleaning the house or making lunch for the kids, you're going to forget it. Now, if you said, hey, I just spent $20 or $50 for a half an hour with this guy, and these are the ideas that I got, you're going to write them down and you're going to go back later and say, okay, how can I make these things work? It's an investment. You get out of it what you put into it.
exactly. Yep. I know you're inspiring kids and really helping out business owners. Your
That's just
big
one of
thing,
many things I'm doing.
right.
Sorry, Kobe, I walked on you.
Yeah. I was saying that working in just starting your business is probably one of the hardest things. And I've noticed if you trickle down to just your local area and spread from there to get more notice of, just like me, I was trying to spread out through the whole United States. And now
How do you
I'm
eat an
just trying to
elephant?
go, what was that?
How do you eat an elephant?
You really can't.
One bite at a time.
Oh, yeah.
You take it one bite at a time. You want to walk across the United States? You start with one step. You want to build an empire? You start with one step. You got to get your first client. You got to get your first widget made. You got to do that first step. You want to start an adventure? You can't go defeat a dragon until you stepped 1 foot out the door. So no matter how you're looking at it, you want to start center. Know your focus, know who you are, know what you want. Then you build out, how do I get there? Then you build out from there, then you build out from there. And you got to take it one step at a time. And there's going to be, one step forward, 2 step back days. But you got to keep your focus and know where you want your business to be and remind yourself on a regular basis, one step at a time.
Yeah, but
Because
you
that
got to
keeps you from
remember,
getting overloaded. Because if you want to start your business on a global scale, you're going to get overwhelmed. Because
Mhm.
all of a sudden now you got 1,000 things coming at you that you weren't prepared for because you didn't start small enough to be able to build on it.
You're right. That's exactly. So start small and go out. Like right now, I'm started right here in Monroe, Michigan, just trying to spread my word, and people are starting to realize who I am and starting to talk to me. And I'm connecting business owners with other business owners, mostly just local brick and mortar businesses, my ideal people.
Okay.
Um, I come from a background of entrepreneurs. My whole families are entrepreneurs.
Okay.
So
What were the pivotal moments that shaped your success? Define success. I mean, what do you mean by success? I am a successful clown because I've been doing it for 30 years, but that doesn't mean every show that I've done has been an absolute, not like bring down the house. So my success is the fact that I still love what I'm doing. I'm not rolling in the bank. Um, you talked about past failures. Well, failures are learning moments because I want to help people out and I want to give them ideas on how to make themselves better. Talking with you, I can tell you right now, you're good at what you do. There's a couple of things that you could be even better. And that's for everybody out there. You may be the best Elon Musk out there, but even Elon Musk has a group of people that ask him or he asked them, what do you think? I saw a note that somebody has a question out there. So, Miss McCarty, if you will take the question part of it,
Yeah,
except she's muted.
absolutely. Absolutely. So, okay, there's two questions. Would you not be more serious coaching a stranger versus a friend?
I am going to raise the question with the question of what is a friend? Because when I met Amber, it was through a networking group, and her and I started talking, and I started, and I really hate the word coach. I'm not sure if I really want to go there, but as a mentor, as a friend, I started working with you on building your business. Um, in what, less than a year, maybe a year now that you and I have been talking, your business has exploded. I'd like to think I had a little bit to do with that, but I know a lot of it is all your energy, and it's your input, it's your business.
I think that was a wonderful, wonderful answer, but I think that she is asking, um, so as you were saying, like when your friends ask you for advice or when they ask you for help, do you think that it's more received from like stranger to stranger and or from like a childhood friend now? Like, you know.
Okay, that is all going to depend on your friend. If you've got a really close friend that you have, talked about, hey, I'm having problems with my boyfriend or my husband or my girlfriend or my parents, that person's going to listen to you and help you come to a decision. That's great. Myself personally, my friends have shown that they want to relay their problems. They want an ear to listen, but they're not looking for anybody to help them out. Um, most of my friends are blue collar or they go and punch in, punch out jobs. So I don't have a lot of business entrepreneur close friends, but I have a lot of businesses that I've worked with that I consider friends. For those listening, Amber, I consider you a friend, but that's because we are business friends. We don't hang out at the bar after work each night, or I come over for, turkey dinner or whatever. No, we're not like classmate friends. We are business friends. And in that aspect, I think, me giving you advice or even you giving me advice, because there's been a number of those too, that we go back and forth. So I'm hoping that
Exactly.
answers
No,
the
I love
question.
that. Yeah, I think that it definitely did. I think so. Um, Watcher, if you are still watching this, I would love to know if that helped answer your question or if there's another question that you would like to have added to that. So thank you. Um, okay, here is another. Okay, so here's two more questions. How do you do podcast or short clips for advertising? And that one we can kind of go into. But what is mentoring versus coaching?
This is going to
I
be
like
more
that
of
one.
my this is going to be more of my opinion. When I think coaching, I think of, the person on the sidelines of a baseball game or a football game that's like yelling at you, you need to do this. You're doing that wrong. You need to do this. Somebody telling you what to do. To me, that's a coach. A coach is somebody that tells you, you got to do this. You got to work harder. You got to do this many calisthenics. You got to work out this much time. If you don't follow this routine, you're going to fail. I think of sport ball for coaching. Um, a lot of coaches that I have talked to, they have a tendency of being more of a, you need to have a better diet, you need to have better sleep pattern, you need to do this, you need to do that. Coaching is somebody telling you what to do, in my opinion. And there are some coaches listening to this that might disagree with me. I don't know. Where a mentor is somebody that says, hey, I've been there. I feel your pain. I know what you're going through. This is how I handled a similar situation. If that works for you, great. If that doesn't work for you and you need somebody to bounce some ideas off of, I'm here for you. I have a great ear to listen. I got a great shoulder to cry on. I got a giant heart that I can help out. Whatever you need, I will be there for you. To me, that is the difference between mentoring and coaching. And I hope that answers your question.
I love that. I really think that that zeroed in on the difference of also the different type of teachings that you do, you know? So I really think that that like helped paint the picture of more of your style. So thank you so much for sharing that, friend.
It's about that coaching and mentoring. I mean, I have a thing. What do you think about consultants now?
I don't really have an opinion about consultants because, again, I would have to really consider the word consulting. If I were a podcast person, I could consult you on podcasting. If I were running um, a business like Meticulous Engagements, I could consult Amber on that because I'm in the business. I'm not in the business. I'm not in either one of your guys' business. I run an entertainment company. I do things like, costume wedding officiating, where I can do a wedding in a pirate costume or a ringmaster costume, say if you have a themed wedding. I do one-shot D&D games. I do magic shows. I do balloon animals. But I run a business that has been seen as the premier business in my area for at least 30 years. I know general avenues of business. Yeah, if you call me up and say, hey, I got a question, how would you handle this? That's a consultation. But I'm not a consultant. I am more of a, hey, I know you got this problem. This is what I've had that's even remotely similar to that. And this is how I handled that. Um, I a mentor is more of a caring figure where a consultant is paid to give you advice and that's it. They really aren't invested. Amber, and you can answer this. When I mentor somebody, I'm not just asking them, hey, give me money and I'll give you advice. I become your friend. I become the guy that, hey, I got a problem. It's not work related, but it's something I need to get out of my chest and I don't know who else to talk to. I can't go to my pastor or clergyman right now. I don't want to go to my mom because she always gives me crap about it. I just need some advice. What do you think? And again, I'm not asking for anything, but I'm an ear. I'm a shoulder. I'm somebody that you can call up and just visit with. And yeah, if it's business related, great. If it's not business related and you just need a friend, I do that. And that, to me, when you got consulting and you got coaching, these are very professional terms. Mentoring is professional, but it's a lot more personable. I see
Exactly.
a finger up.
Yeah, because I have another question here on Facebook. You are on fire today. Thank you guys. Um,
I'm
okay,
lit.
so I'm gonna reword this a little bit
Okay.
because yes, he is willing to help individuals understand how certain aspects of running a business works. Okay. The question is, are you willing to help individuals understand how certain aspects of running a business works? Well, the answer would be yes, friend. Are you looking for now? Okay, so I'm asking friend on Facebook. Are you asking for a specific aspect of your business? And can you give us like a direct question to a problem? Because right now your question answer would be yes.
And
And
from what
Now
I
I just need
understand, I'm going to throw this at the person asking the question. Yes, I know how to run a business. Yes, I struggle in my business just like everybody else out there. I'm not perfect. I'm not number one. Um, I will answer how I've done it. I'm not going to tell you this is the only way to do it. If you're asking me, how do you start a business? Well, there are 16 billion different ways. For every person you ask, there's a different answer to that. I can tell you what some of the things that you need to keep in mind for opening your business or running your business. I can tell you what I personally have done, but I'm not going to sit here and say this is the way you have to do it because I don't like being told what to do. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm going to tell you, hey, this is my thoughts. These are my ideas. What do you think? Let's have a conversation. Let's discuss it as two intelligent adults with an issue in front of us. Let's discuss it and find the best solution for your problem. And
I just
if
add
you're
on.
on here and watching and you're not a member of Meticulous Engagements, fix that. I am almost always on the Thursday morning chat. I am a member on the group. My company is a member on the group. So if you have a question that I'm not answering today, shoot me a direct message on there. Like I said, I answer when I can. It's not real quick, but you can also get my contact information through the Facebook group. And, I'd love to be able to help anybody I can.
Sure. Three things I would add to that. I mean, in a business, go ahead.
No. One, you asked three things.
All right. One, you got to know the business to even have a business. Second, you got to like the business to do business. And third, you got to trust the business to even to get into the next step into the business. So having
There
these
are
three things,
exceptions, but I agree with those three things.
those three things have to be in a business. If you want it to be successful, you got to have those three things. I'll tell you right
You
now.
can buy a franchise.
So, I mean, you can buy a franchise, but even having a franchise, you still got to trust that franchise. Are they going to do the right process? Are they going to make the right advertising for you? Or are you doing the advertising yourself? I mean, there's
That's
plenty
why
of
you
franchises
pay
right
them.
now.
But again,
So
I personally don't put franchise owners and entrepreneurs in the same light.
I don't
Um,
either.
I know a young lady that does the oil company. I don't want to throw names out there, but she runs it as an entrepreneur. I know another lady that's in the same exact business that she runs it as a franchise. She only does what the company tells her to do. Yeah, she does her whatever, but she's not making nearly as much as the person that is running it as an
The
entrepreneur
owner.
business.
Yeah.
So yes, yeah, I do agree with your 3 points.
You know,
And if you don't love what you do, you're working too hard.
exactly.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, I had a question going back in time a little bit. So with your yellow pages and I know, right? Ooh, we should put some music with that when I edit. I'm gonna see if I can do that. Um, okay, so with you, having to do the yellow pages and having to do the business cards, that sounds like a lot of work and also like a lot more footwork. Do you enjoy now like everything almost like at your fingertips? Like if you want someone to know that you have like a Black Friday special, or if you're shaking your head like you already have your answer, friend.
I do. Um, and this is gonna, if you're under 30, you're not gonna get this. If you're over 30, you're gonna completely understand. I was always asked to program the VCR because I knew how to do it. Younger people have a lot easier time with new technology. We talked about this earlier. I'll be 50 next October, so I'm 49 years old. I could call my phone company and say, hey, I got an ad. I want to run it through the phone book. I want to run an ad to the paper. It was a call. It was a person-to-person contact. I told them what I wanted. It didn't happen. Now, if I want to change anything on my website, I have to contact the guy that did my website because I don't understand how the technology works to change that. I have to pay more to have wording changes or graphic changes because I don't know how to do it myself.
And
Remember, you and I have bounced back and forth on this a number of times. I don't TikTok. I don't Instagram. I do Facebook because it's something that I remember from the MySpace days. So I can do Facebook. I can do a lot of conversations on Facebook, and I have a business page on Facebook, but I don't understand or have the time to learn a lot of new technologies. We just redid our website, and we've got a manager program on there that's supposed to be able to do all the numbers and the digital part of it to be able to book shows digitally. I'm still trying to learn how to use that system, and it's almost 6 months old now. Um, I'm still working with the website guy to get that up and going. So I'm learning these things, and now it's at the point where I gotta know somebody because I can't do it all myself. The new technologies, if you started a business in 1990, there were only like 5 things you had to do to get your business going. You had to register with the government. You had to get a Yellow Pages ad. You had to get business cards. You had to get some sort of advertising, and it had to be good at what you do. 5 things. Now I need digital representation. I still need to have the visual representation. I still got to be good at what I do. I still got to learn how to network with other people. I got to get my word out there. I got to have insurance. I got to have, there are hundreds of things per business that you need to do to be able to do business. Now you got to pay for licensing. You got to get an EIN number. You got to contact the government, and that's all online or all digital. Or there is a lot more going on now. If I were to start my business today, I would want to be a young kid. I would not be able to start a business at 50, 60 years old. There's just too much unless I hired somebody else to do it.
And that's a big thing right now. Hiring somebody else, getting the right person to you to actually, they know what they're talking about. I mean, I know that was the hardest problem for myself until I partnered with a company that's been around for 20 years now. And it's got a great company of people and just to refer to all the
Yep.
time.
And this is why I personally think networking with other businesses is the way to go. Find somebody that's good at what they do and is respectable to do what they do. I've had a lot of people that knew how to do websites. They're great at websites. They cost a lot of money, but they can't see my vision the way I see it. So I've gone through 3 different website builders before I found somebody that I can work with. Amber, you had a question?
He did. It came through on Facebook.
Right.
I did not want to cut you off though. But how do you learn the business language? Are you saying so many things that many don't work or won't understand? Okay, wait. Oh, you are saying many things that people don't know or won't understand.
Okay, like EIN, that's a business term. It is the
Employment
number that you need that the government gives you. As a person, I've got a social security number. As a business, I need an EIN, employer identification number.
How
Yeah,
long do you think that it takes a new business owner though to like learn just like the basics of the ropes? How long? Like if they have
if
so they have a passion, they see themselves doing things with their passion. How long though do you think like it takes them to at least get set up with the basics and to run forward and also learn the business language?
way too long. If
It,
you're
it all
doing it by yourself and you don't have somebody to talk to or you don't have anybody helping you, it'll take forever because every time you turn around, there's something new that you got to ask. I didn't have to have an EIN when I first started. I was a sole proprietor. I used my social security number. When I upgraded to an incorporation, I needed that EIN and I had to learn the difference between a C corp and an S corp. I know these are terms that a lot of businesses or a lot of people aren't going to understand. The small entrepreneur, the small business that has a service or provides, like you have your meticulous engagements and KP, you have your podcast. These are things that you love what you do, you know what you're doing, you can do them, but you may not know the ins and outs of business tax code. I'm personally, I will tell you right now, as a business owner, it is worth the money for me to go have somebody else do my taxes. I know where my issues are. Amber, there was a gal that we talked to last summer, I think it was. She does payroll and accounting. You know what? If your business is big enough where you need that, contact that person or contact somebody like that that can do payroll, that can do billing. My personal business mentor, she has told me that there is a service that will answer your phone all the time so it doesn't go to voicemail. They will take the call as a live person, take the notes, and give you the information to call you back. That's a service that I'm looking at adding because it is valuable to my business to do that. You cannot run a business by yourself in today's age and society. It's just not possible. You gotta have other people in your corner. You need to have somebody that you can say, hey, I'm a word guy. I don't do numbers real well. And even in my particular thing, we want to redo our show for next summer's county fairs. I run it by my 2 other retainers. We get together, we brainstorm. I've got 2 other people that we run ideas by. That's just internal. External, you got to have somebody that you can inquire, hey, how do I file my taxes? How do I get an EIN? How do I, change from having my personal cell phone to my business phone? If you're running your business on your cell phone and you answer phone, hello, that doesn't do jack for your business. You want to be able to answer your phone. Good morning, this is Wes. How may I help you today? Or like my business phone, good afternoon, just for laughs and entertainment. This is Wes. How can I speak with you? You got to be able to let the person on the other end of the phone know you're professional. When you run an ad on Facebook and it's just, hey, come hire a clown, that's not professional. You want to have the pizzazz, the representation. You want people to know that you're worth the money that you're.
You just muted yourself.
Fortunately, I got interrupted there. But you want to look as professional as possible. I could say that I am a clown. I do birthday parties. That's great as a person. But if you say, I am part of Just for Laughs Incorporated, where we are a family-friendly, developmentally appropriate, and universally accessible entertainment company, you understand that I'm more than just me. I'm more than I. One of the reasons why I incorporated is so that when I present my business, it's a business. I'm not just some clown. I am a performer. I am an entertainer. So there's more to me than just red nose and floppy shoots. Yeah, I can make a balloon dog, but I can also make a balloon Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, or I can do a balloon caricature of you. That's the difference between my business and just some clown. So anything else I can answer for you guys today? I know we're getting to the top of the hour and we're getting ready to wrap up there. So what else can I help you guys with?
Absolutely. Facebook, is there any other questions? I keep on looking down here to make sure I'm getting them all. And then Ronald, thank you so much for your advice. That was awesome. He said, if you're starting, go to SCORE. It's an acronym. They also have other things that they can help you with as well. So thank you so much for that advice, Ronald.
And if you're starting
KP,
a business and you're not on Meticulous Engagements Thursday morning networking, that's your first step. Get on there and talk to some other business people and let people know what you're trying to do. Sorry, had to do a shameless plug there. KP.
The final question, I'd say, what really got you started as a young child before even going into business? I mean, what was it that you loved doing as a child that got you to doing what you're doing now?
Okay, I'm old. I come from a low-income family. When I was 12, I got my first job as a paper route. My little brother and sister were from a different parent. So I had half siblings that I got to raise. Now, if you're from a low income family or back in the day, you understand that the oldest child takes care of the little children. So I was already working with children at the age of 12. I wasn't more than a child myself. When I was in high school, I did a lot of work with helping younger classmates or younger kids in school, just by walking through the halls or learning where their classes were. I was the guy that always helped other people out. So I've always been the helper type person. I was never in any one clique in school. So I wasn't with the motorheads. I wasn't with the greasers. I wasn't with the cars or the jocks or the other people. But everybody know who I was, because if you didn't have another friend, I was a place. I had an open table and I let anybody sit with me. So I always was available to everybody in high school. Out of high school, it kind of got dropped in my lap. I wanted to be go into the military, be a military police, get a pension from the military, go into law enforcement, be a local police officer. That if you ever want to hear God laugh, tell him your plans for the future, because it's never going to happen. God's plan for me was completely different than my plan for me, and we all know God won. As a JC family friend drugged me to this new meeting, didn't even tell me what was going on. I went to this first clown club meeting without even understanding what it was. So it wasn't until after the meeting started that I realized, WTF. Jerry Fouquet told me on the way home, hey, if you give it a try and don't like it, no harm, no foul. But if you don't give it a try, I'm going to harass and hound you for the rest of your life because you chickened out. So I gave it a try. I did like it. That's when I went into the hospital. That's when I saw that young gentleman. That's when I saw that aha moment. That's my aha moment. It wasn't my aha. It was this young gentleman's moment that was my addiction. Growing up from there. Yeah, I've been, in and out. There were a number of years where I met my first girlfriend and had a kid with her, and I kind of dropped back to only doing a couple of shows a year. But after her and I separated, I realized that I missed it and I wanted to do it, and it was something that I enjoyed doing. So in 2008, I went whole hog, and that was my primary work, was my clown business, my Just for Laughs entertainment. I did drive school bus on top of it, so I was connected with the kids all year round. I miss driving school bus, but in today's society, kids have no respect for authority or people or parents. So I wouldn't know if I could go back doing that. But I do enjoy working with the kids in the. I've been a parent or a paraprofessional. I worked with kids in the classroom. I love working with kids. I always have loved working with kids. Now I offer classes where I can teach people to do magic. I can teach to do balloon animals. I'd love to find somebody that would be willing to learn my art form and be able to, take my clients when I'm ready to retire. So yeah, my life story is always helping other people out and doing the best I can to make people. I'm a people pleaser. I'm one of my friends said I'm a politician. I tell people the truth, but in a way that they will accept it.
Love
And
it.
that's why I
Love
said
it.
I'd give you advice, but I'm not going to tell you how to do it. I'll tell you how I did it and what worked for me. And if that works for you, great. If it doesn't work for you, no harm, no foul. We'll find a way that it will work for you. And that's
Love the
like
story.
when parents call me up for a birthday party, I'm like, hey, it's your party. You can do it how you want, but this is what's worked best for me in the past. You want to do a wedding? This is what's worked best for me in the past. Take it or leave it. Um, you want to run a D&D game? Hey, I've been a dungeon master for 40 years now, so this is what works for me. Do whatever.
Nice.
It's
Nice.
what I
Nice.
got.
Love it.
I
I
love
do like
it.
it. Any more questions, Amber, on there?
I don't have any more. And there
On
are no
Facebook?
more coming on Facebook. No, I think this was huge, full of nuggets. I definitely heard so many amazing reels. I cannot wait to go in and go ahead and edit everything. It's gonna sound so good. I'm excited. This is gonna be super fun to go back and go edit and rewatch.
Ability and efficiency is what's going to make your business grow. So stick to those two things and you will grow.
I'm Wes, Just for Laughs Entertainment, where we custom build fun.
I
Amber.
am Amber McCarty with Meticulous Engagements, where it is my business to know your business so I can help share it with the world, friends. All right, guys, that was a wrap. This was fun. I'm going to go ahead and end the live stream. Hang on, friends. Bye.